Hey guys, how's it going? Solo back with another weekend video, and I thought we are due to take a look at Micron. It's been kind of just skating by right now, flying under the radar, but it's just been slowly creeping up in price. And I personally, and on this channel, we haven't really kept track of Micron. I haven't done technical analysis update on Micron in probably a few weeks or maybe even a few months now. I don't remember the last video I made on Micron. It had a big day on Friday, as you can see by the Robinhood graph, up almost 5%. So I think it's time that we take a look at the Honey Badger. Longtime viewers know I like to refer to Micron as the Honey Badger because it seems like Micron just does not care what the market is doing. The whole market could be big red, but Micron will be up 4%. Or the opposite, maybe the market overall is just going to the moon and Micron will say, you know what? I'm going to go down 2% because, yeah, I'm the Honey Badger and I don't care. So let's take a look at some updated technical analysis on Micron, and I'll give you my thoughts and some price predictions. But like I said, taking a look at the daily graph here yesterday on the last day of trading for this week, Micron was up 5%. Look at the weekly graph. Take a look at this. I mean, it's just staircasing up and up and up every single day this week. This past week alone, Micron is up almost 14%. Crazy, because it wasn't that long ago that Micron was in the $40, $50 range. Now it's already above $70. Just absolute insanity. Again, monthly graph, take a look at this. This is just what I love to see. A line that is just straight up and to the right. It doesn't get much better than this. And this is the growth that I like to see. Kind of a slow and steady growth over time. Those graphs where they go parabolic, I feel like, what goes up must come down. So if it goes up really fast, then it's probably also going to come down really fast. Something like this, which is a slow and sustained growth, this seems more reasonable. This seems more like it's just the company doing well right now. 3-month graph, again, just up and to the right. The yearly graph, of course, we're going to see that dip like we had in the whole market. But take a look at this. We kind of melted up slowly from about March to about July. Dipped a little bit again in August, and this is kind of around the time frame where I lost interest in Micron because I didn't know where the company was going. It started dipping even when the whole market and other stocks in the semi sector like AMD, Nvidia, Qualcomm, they were still going to the moon. But like I said, Honey Badger don't care, and it was going to do its own thing and sell off a little bit. But by golly, if you bought that dip in August, look at this. In August, Micron was trading around $42, $43, and it just went to the moon. I mean, like I said, December 4th, it's at $73. It almost doubled in price in about 3 or 4 months. That's just craziness. So Micron certainly rewarded the people that were holding shares and still believed in the company. I don't think Micron has any fear of going bankrupt or going under. They are in the semiconductor sector, which has just been doing really well lately. And so let's take a look at the option chain just to see how juicy the premiums are. Part of the reason that I also lost interest in Micron was that its premiums were not that juicy anymore. So let's see what we're looking at. If I wanted to start wheeling Micron by selling some cash grid puts for this coming Friday, December 11th, let's see what kind of return on risk I would get. I get a lot of questions of what I mean by return on risk, or how do I calculate return on risk? And it's actually very simple. So what I mean by that is, what is my return on my option play compared to the amount of money that I am putting up at risk? And when I mean at risk, I mean how much would it cost me to buy 100 shares if that option gets exercised? So for example, if I look at the at-the-money put, since Micron is trading at $73.40, the at-the-money put is going to be right here, right? The first option below this line. So that's going to be the $73 strike put. So right now, at least as of market close on Friday, and this number will obviously change when the market opens this coming Monday, but just for an example, I would collect $143 per contract by selling this put. And it's $143 because this is $1.43 per share of stock, and every option is automatically 100 shares. So you just multiply this number by 100. So I just like to refer to it as $143. So that would be my return, $143. And I'm going to divide it by what my risk would be if this option gets exercised. So if it gets exercised, let's say Micron drops below $73 on end of day Friday, then that means that I have to buy 100 shares of Micron at $73 a piece. So that means I have to buy 100 shares at $73 each. So that's basically this number times 100. So $73 times 100 is going to be $7,300. And that's how much money that I would have to pay to buy those 100 shares. So that is what I call my risk. So my return on risk is going to be $143 divided by $7,300. And that's how you calculate a return on risk. And so if you do that, you get a number like this, 0.019. To make this into a percentage, just multiply it by 100, and you can see the return on risk is about 1.95%. So let's just say 2%, just to make it a round even number. It's not the greatest return on risk, in my opinion right now, for an at-the-money put. If you do the same calculation with some of the other tickers that you're looking at, maybe playing a lot of the hyped up stocks right now, like Palantir, like Neo, like FCell, like Nikola even, a lot of these hype stocks or meme stocks are going to have very high returns on risk. And that's to be expected because the higher the risk, the higher the reward. So people that are chasing big gains, yes, you have the possibility to get a big gain, but you also have the possibility to get a big loss. So just like in a casino, the higher the risk, the higher the reward. So you have to decide how much of a risk to reward ratio you are willing to accept. And for everybody, that number is going to be different. So if you are more of a conservative trader, then you could be okay with this because a 2% return on risk means that there's not that much risk there and you will be more likely to collect some profit. Now, if you are more of a risky trader, you could go just chase the numbers, and there are option screeners out there that will automatically find all of the tickers that have the highest returns on risk for you. My trading platform or other trading platforms and even websites will do that for you on the fly. But that doesn't necessarily mean that those are good stocks to buy or good companies to invest in. Those are just purely people chasing the numbers. So you have to decide if that's right for you or not. But there are other companies that I think you can get the same or juicier premiums. So let's take a look, for example, at Virgin Galactic, just as an example, at Space. So if we look at the option chain on Space and look at the same thing, the at-the-money put for a weekly option expiring this Friday, and do the same calculation, so you can see I would collect $142 in premium, and I would have $28.50 times 100, so $2,850 at risk. So divided by 28.50, so the return on risk, and then we're going to times it by 100 to make it a percentage. The return on risk for Virgin Galactic, you can see, is almost 5%. So it's over double the return on risk for Micron. And that's because Space or Virgin Galactic is a more volatile stock. It's a more of a risky play. So you have the potential to get more reward by taking on more risk. So you have to decide if a stock like Space is more in your wheelhouse, or is something more like Micron or AMD or Nvidia more in your wheelhouse. Stocks that have lower potential rewards, but also lower potential risk. So that was a bit of an aside, just to do a quick return on risk calculation, just because I get a lot of questions in the Discord server and also in the YouTube comments about what I am talking about and how to calculate that. So I hope that answers a few questions. But let's get right into the TradingView chart on Micron to do some updated technical analysis. And what we're looking at right now, you can see it's been quite some time since I've done TA on Micron, so we definitely have to update some of this. The first thing I want to do is update the Fibonacci levels, because I drew it from the most recent lows back in August. I think we should update that to the recent lows back on November 2nd right now. Let's see what that looks like. So I'm going to drag this up to here, right about there to the bottom of that candle, let's say. And then I'm going to draw the top basically to the all-time high, or I should say, yeah, the all-time high on Micron, which just happened this past Friday, to see what that looks like. So we're going to do something just like that. So let's see how that lines up. And actually, I'm really liking how this lined up right now, because take a look at this. The 50% Fibonacci level acted up as the area of resistance for basically this whole trading week back in mid-November. And that's actually where I was going to draw a trend line. So I'm going to draw a trend line like that. So I'm really liking the way these fib levels set up for me right now. And also the 38.2% fib level also looks like it kind of is very similar to an area of trend that I'm going to draw right here at about $64 and some change as another area of resistance a week later in towards the end of November. Now let's see what else we can do. I also have drawn this trend line back in November. So let's see what happens if I extend this trend line up to incorporate more of this data, maybe something along the lines of this. And it looks like it fits the data overall pretty well still. Now for the new viewers here, this orange line is the 21-day moving average. The pink line is going to be the 50-day moving average. And these yellow lines are areas of support and resistance that I've drawn in the past. These light blue lines are actually a gap that I drew a while back. And as you can see, right around here in October, that gap has clearly been filled. So I'm going to delete these blue lines because that's no longer relevant right now. And just looking at this graph, the first thing that caught my eye was this RSI curve. We are very, very overbought right now. The RSI curve is at about 85, 86, and it's been that way for maybe about a week or two of trading. So that kind of worries me a little bit. It looks like, despite what I said earlier in the video, that Micron has gone a little bit crazy towards the end of November. Like I said, Micron had a great month of November. As I'm looking at the news right now, I don't really see any big articles or any big news events that may explain that. If anybody knows why Micron has such a great month of November, please leave me a comment below so we can all learn and understand. But right now, I don't know why Micron has been so bullish the month of November, because the rest of the semiconductor sector, although it has been green this month, not quite as green as Micron has. So where is my price prediction? And let's see what else I can draw. I think above 64.50, we've been basically increasing our share price every day this past week. So I can't really draw an area of support or resistance for this past week, especially because there's no historical price data in that range, because Micron is basically hitting all-time highs. The other interesting thing, take a look at this. This line I just drew at 64.50, it just corresponds pretty much perfectly with its recent high back in May of 2018. If I zoom out, that was the most recent all-time high. So it kind of makes sense that we did top out there, because a stock is going to experience a little bit of resistance when it wants to set new all-time highs. So it looks like it really popped this last week of trading, because for that week before, we were hitting resistance there. Now, the other thing to note is that there does look like to be a little bit of a gap right here to right here. And I'm going to draw these in blue like I did those previous lines, just so we know that that is a gap line and not an area of trend. So between about $58 and some change and $59, there's a little $1 wide gap there that may get filled at some point, but I don't think it's going to get filled anytime soon. And I say that because this 21-day moving average, it's going to act as support, and that's well above this gap right now. So even if we do pull back, and that's what I do think is going to happen, I think we're going to have a little bit of a pullback, probably to about $64, $65. That's my prediction, because the RSI curve is very overbought. So that's going to also support a little bit of a pullback. You can see we've blown past above this area of trend as well. And like I said, there's really no area of support unless you want to consider the 23.6% Fibonacci level, which is at about $68, an area of support. I think that's where we'll go in the coming days, first down to about 68. If this fib level doesn't hold, then I think we could easily go back down to 64, 65, because that's where I see the all-time high area of support and also the 38.2% Fibonacci level. I think over the next week, we'll slowly sell off, and by that time, the 21-day moving average is also probably going to be around the low to mid $64 level, so that's also going to act as an area of support. So what I suspect is going to happen is that I'm going to delete this right now. What I think will happen is we'll probably slowly sell off till around here over a couple of days. By that time, this will slowly start just creeping up. And then I think at some point, we're going to sell off to meet either this trend line here at 64.50 and or this area of the 21-day moving average. So I think we'll probably settle in somewhere in the low to mid $60 range for Micron. That's my price prediction. So right now, in terms of potentially running the wheel strategy on Micron, I would hold off personally. And again, this is not financial advice. This is just my opinion, because everything that I'm seeing on the technical side says that we're overbought. So I think if I wait for Micron to come back down to earth a little bit, I could lock in not only more premium on a red day, but also lock in a lower strike for my cash secured put. Right now, if I wanted to play it extra safe, I would try and get a cash secured put below $58. That way, if we do kind of go crazy and sell off a lot, I am still below this gap if the shares decide to try and fill this gap. If you want to be super safe, the 50-day moving average is around $55. So if you can get a very far data expiration option sub $55, I think you're going to be pretty safe, because by that point, Micron would have to crash through multiple areas of support, blow through this gap, crash through the 21-day moving average, and basically get to or below the 50-day moving average, which would take a lot. I mean, I think that would take basically an overall market sell-off or just some bad news that comes out on Micron. That's really my updated technical analysis on Micron. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Like I said, Micron has been on my watch list, but I haven't paid much attention to it. Let me know if any of you, of my viewers or my audience, have been trading Micron, either shares or options, and how you've been doing. I really hope that the premiums become a little bit juicier to make it a little bit more enticing to start wheeling Micron. But I'll keep an eye on it a little bit more now, just because it's had this great month of November, and we'll see if we can keep up its momentum in November. As always, make sure you join our Discord server, hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications, add me on Twitter, add me on Instagram, and most importantly, have a good weekend, smash the like button, and happy trading.